Welcome to Professional Competency in Elder Caregiving. I'm Erin. Since 2010, I've been committed to improving the experience of caring for an elder, most recently as a psychotherapist. We are here to introduce the Counseling Competency for Elder Caregiving course. It's our intention to change the culture of caregiving for elders by raising awareness about what's happening now and how to prepare for what's next. We would like to be guests on your podcast or speak at your conference.
And I'm Daniela, a professional therapist specializing in working with caregivers and elders for the past decade. Have you heard of the silver tsunami that's headed our way? It's the metaphor used to describe the aging population. As of 2021, 15% of Americans are 65 or older. That number is expected to balloon to over 20% by 2050. In the US, that will bring an estimated 40 million additional people relying on Medicare, using the healthcare system, and seeking caregiver support. My bet is that more people are working with caregivers than those who are not in their professional setting. And if they are not now, they will be soon. Erin, why do you think the understanding of the silver tsunami is important to helping professionals such as ourselves, therapists, social workers, coaches, doulas, care managers, hospice volunteers, and other individuals serving the older community?
You've just described our communities are aging and the demand for caregiving is expanding. Helping professionals who are well prepared will create a positive ripple effect. What's needed to meet the silver tsunami is nothing short of a culture shift. Caregivers who have been taught how to anticipate the demands of caregiving while practicing emotional regulation and remaining oriented towards meaning and personal growth will provide better care to their loved ones. Our hope is that those caregivers will also have more joy in their experience. Our society, in our society, caregivers often are encouraged to become kind of experts on the practical material aspects of caregiving. Aging itself is sometimes related to as a medical condition. And that focus on physical safety and decisions of medical care is really critical. People become skilled at scheduling doctor's appointments and completing insurance paperwork, managing all of the medications, adapting their routines and their homes and environments to essentially accommodate a disease prognosis. And like I said, all of those things are critical and really important, but caregiving is also a deeply emotional path that transforms the caregiver's relationship to themselves and to others. Caregiving is a time of experiencing deep grief. It forces a reckoning with mortality and provides an incredible opportunity for personal transformation. We have some concern that helping professionals are not fully prepared to recognize the realities of caregiving for an elder. It's not really taught in most professional programs. So we've designed a course to fill in that education gap with a conceptual framework, specific skills, resources, and helpful interventions.
That's right. We want to bring the caregiving path more into the conversation. We have constructed a developmental model similar to the stage-based models of the lifespan, but focused on caregiving. At each stage, we lay out common experiences, tasks, responsibilities, how the relationship changes, and common challenges to demonstrate opportunities for potential areas of support.
What sparked your original interest in working in this area?
Ever since I can remember, I love spending time with elders and grew up very involved with my grandparents and their care. Prior to returning to graduate school, I worked at an adult day program coordinating activities for seniors. One influential memory I hold is when one of my participants came in so angry and so sad and confused that I immediately had to take her to another room and try to help her calm down. And she just kept saying that her daughter yelled at her and she doesn't know why. And so we did some soothing activities, and we talked a bit about it. And I really tried to help her get into a calmer space. And then we returned to the programs, but she kept returning back to it all day. Why did she yell at me? What happened? Did I do something wrong? And it was so clear to me that she was able to hold on to the emotional content, but not the content of what the daughter was really upset about. That moment was really clear for me that we need more emotional support for our caregivers. They're under so much stress trying to balance so many aspects of their life, while also watching someone they love change in front of their eyes. So I turned into a therapist who could hold space for these individuals to process this life-altering experience and to support their own emotional regulation. There is a lot of witnessing of change and a lot of big decisions and this very unique grief that comes in the role of a caregiver. So if I can help them remain calm and present, that will help to their loved one be at ease and creates opportunity for their personal growth. And I want the other helping professionals to be able to do the same. To me, it feels like the way to honor our elders by supporting the loved ones that they care for. What about you, Erin? What brought you into the field?
Well, I grew up in Florida, a place with a high percentage of elders. And so honestly, a lot of the important people in my childhood were over 70, our neighbors and members of our church. And I knew that I wanted to work in elder care after spending time as a volunteer for hospice. So I became a professional caregiver. And my days were spent in 12 and 24-hour shifts, often as the only caregiver home with someone with significant dementia, stroke paralysis, other kind of age-related concerns. And I was solely responsible for their physical and emotional safety during that time. Sometimes a spouse or family member might be there, and they would share with me what it was like to have their lives turned upside down. Those conversations then led me to graduate school, kind of following my desire to address the existential concerns of caregiving. So now, years later, as a practicing therapist working with caregivers, I find that many of my insights come directly from my time as an in-home caregiver.
Yep, I can relate to that. I pull more from learning outside of my graduate program than from within, and more from information around these disease prognoses, the balance that these caregivers need, than even some of the skills we know as common for therapists and coaches. The feedback I often receive is because of my background, is that I can help guide clients to think about next steps, understand the demands, and to be with their grief. Often what I hear is that instead of the client having to explain to me what caregiving is and the impact it's having onto them, I can help explain it to them.
Yeah, that so reminds me of an experience I had as a client in therapy, where I was working with a counselor who was really unfamiliar with something that I was going through. I ended up having to educate her, and I also felt pretty misunderstood. So we really don't want that to happen to other counselors or their clients. And our course, Counseling Competency for Elder Caregiving, is going to address that.
That's right. We want our helping professionals to succeed at their jobs.
Yeah.
As of 2020, 1 in 5 adults care for a loved one, and 61% of them are working at the same time. With the silver tsunami coming, that's only going to be increasing. Caregiving impacts everyone: grandchildren, adult children, spouses, employers, pets, medical professionals, helpful neighbors, and probably you. You probably know someone who's a caregiver already. Our shared goal is to give additional education to the community of helpers to talk directly about this role. In the course, we will explore our personal biases, practice what it's like to use the caregiver path framework with clients, and deepen our understanding of the pivotal life experience. Can you help us to get this important conversation going?
We are going to need everybody's involvement. We expect that you and your professional community are similar to us. You were drawn to the healing professions because you want to advocate for change towards wellness in all aspects of our shared communities. And valuing our elders is an important part of that. So thank you for engaging in this critical topic, and we would welcome an opportunity to join your podcast or conference.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.